So since her sun is indicated by Saturn in Virgo, we can see that he is taking this examination very seriously, and he is probably working very hard to do a good job. It could be that the examination, or that the part of it that the woman has asked about, has to do with something like mathematics, something very analytical, and something that requires a lot of brain power. This would not be perhaps an examination having to do with creative writing or composition, perhaps not even something like literature. This is something a little bit more detail-oriented and practical. Now, the woman herself is shown by Venus in the sign of Taurus, and Venus is placed in the 8th house of the horoscope. It is said that a planet in the 8th house shows a person who is full of fear. So this woman is obviously very worried about her sun passing the examination. But not only that, the sun's planet, Saturn in Virgo, is placed in the 12th house, and the 12th house is also associated with fear, anxiety, all those negative emotions that we stir up when we are doing something we are afraid of. Now, very likely, both mother and son are very stressed out about this examination, and they're very worried that he is not going to pass it. However, he looks very, very likely to pass the exam, so it's good news. We have several indicators in the horoscope showing that he will do just fine. Now, I don't know how the exam is graded, but if there's another possibility, for example, the issue isn't just that he passes, but the question is with what score, whether he does extremely well or just well enough to pass, he will do very well. He will not just barely pass, he will get a very good score indeed. There are several indicators of this. One of them is that the moon in this horoscope is applying to conjoin Mercury. Now, Mercury is the planet of knowledge. Mercury, of course, was the ancient messenger god, so he has to do with all kinds of information, communication, any kind of knowledge. Now, Moon is conjoining Mercury in the 9th house of higher knowledge, so it's very likely that this examination is it's not for a very low grade or low class. He probably is applying to high school or even college, something fairly advanced. Now, it is very likely that her son will pass because the moon is conjoining Mercury. Now, at the same time, we also have the very benefic and lucky planet Jupiter in the 5th house, which is the house of children. So the house that represents the boy has this very positive planet in it. So that's another good sign. So we have 2 so far. The third positive sign is that on the 5th house, we also have the North Node. Now, the North Node is an astronomical point, and it's not a planet. It is the point in the sky at which the moon goes up above the ecliptic. The ecliptic, of course, is the band through which the sun travels. So when the moon goes up through the ecliptic, that point on the astronomical chart is called the North Node. It is associated with increase and improvement and growth of everything because it represents the point at which the moon goes up. So everything goes up and increases. So again, having this point, this North Node in the 5th house of children, is very beneficial for her son. So there are several indications in this chart that he will do very well indeed, and probably better than just barely passing his exam. Now, the second question I have received is from a woman called Amina, and she wants to know whether her financial situation will improve. This is very likely. Amina is shown by Venus in Taurus in the 8th house. The 8th house also symbolizes other people's money. So it looks like her own money is tied up with someone else. It could be that she is in debt, or it could be that someone else controls her money, like a business partner or a spouse. Now, it is very important that Amina looks around and she finds an ally who can help her financially through this difficult time. again, it may be a spouse, or it may be a business partner, or in fact, she may run her own business and she may look for customers and do something that will increase her sales. She has options. The reason I say this is that her planet Venus is about to conjoin the planet Mars. And Mars in this horoscope rules her second house of money. So she is going to be able to get the money to which she is entitled. The sense I get from this horoscope is that this is not just about receiving sufficient money, but this is about Amina receiving money, which is actually hers, to which she is entitled. She will be able to get this money, and because the question has already been asked about 2 weeks ago, she already probably has gotten it, or is very close to getting it. The important thing in this horoscope is that we have Venus and Mars, and they are aspecting the planet Saturn. Now Saturn, as I mentioned, is in the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of secrets. So it could be that somebody is hiding some money that belongs to her, or it could simply mean that she will have to be more assertive and she will have to push the people who are responsible for her money. And she has to basically get them to give her that to which she is entitled.